Hey VC, it's Jonathan, your cheap and cheerful record collector. So this is going to be my entry into the Americana Vinyl Tag that our buddy Sam St. John put out. If you don't know Sam St. John, check him out. Great channel, love his stuff. Yeah, he put together a great list of things. And I was sort of toying with the idea for the past couple of weeks. What is Americana music, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm going to do it, maybe I'm not. And then last night, I was watching Jack from Vinyl Martini do his Americana Vinyl Tag. And he tagged me at the end and said, the last question is to choose someone to do the tag. So he brought me up. So I figured, all right, now's the time to get on it and get it done. The problem is Americana. Sam wrote on his thing, Americana has a fairly open-ended definition, but runs the gamut to include elements of acoustic music, folk, country, rock, bluegrass, prime examples, etc. The band, Emmylou Harris, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, 20 great questions. Let me get started. Show your favorite Americana artist. And it was hard to, I love so many of them, but I decided to go with Townes Van Zandt. You all know Townes, one of a great singer-songwriter, one of the best. This is his album, this is a repress on Fat Possum from 2007, self-titled, Townes Van Zandt. What a great, great album. I don't have to tell you, everyone knows about Townes Van Zandt. Nothing special there, but fantastic. One of my favorites. Question 2, show an album with a banjo on the cover. Well, I'm going back to the roots, as they would say, of Americana, and I'm showing the great Pete Seeger and his album Gazette, and there's him, Pete, with his banjo on the cover. You trace a lot of the Americana music back to Pete Seeger, Woody Guthrie, all those people. So here's Pete Seeger with the banjo on his album Gazette. This was on Folkways, with banjo and 12-string guitar, containing a collection of topical songs, old and new, without direction as to content or pressure. Long Live the United States, Volume 1, Number 1, 1958. So there you go. Banjo on the cover. Number 3, show a great harmony album. To me, Americana music is known for the great harmonies, but I decided to go with one that maybe people don't know that much about, and this is the Desert Rose Band. And the Desert Rose Band includes Chris Hillman, John Jorgensen, and Herb Peterson. John Jorgensen, amazing guitar player, one of the greats. And Chris Hillman, of course, everybody knows from the Byrds. Great album, really nice harmonies on here. On MCA Records from 1987. Just beautiful. Desert Rose Band. Number 4, show a favorite album by your favorite female Americana artist. Well, I got to go with great Lucinda Williams. I love a number of her stuff, but this is the first one of hers I ever heard, and I just still am in awe of this record. Just absolutely love this album. So yeah, Lucinda Williams, Car Wheels on a Gravel Road. Everyone knows this album. Fantastic, great stuff. For 5, show your favorite acoustic cover song. All right, here's one for you. How about Sam Bush and his album Late as Usual, and starts side 2 with the Little Feat song Sailing Shoes. So fantastic, great version of that on Rounder Records. Yeah, Rounder. But great, great musician Sam Bush. Plays mandolin and lead vocal. Play mandolin on this whole album. Just a great album. Norman Blake's on here, backing him up on a number of cuts. So great. Oh, too much glare there. There you go. There you go. Sam Bush and his version of Sailing Shoes. Name an American artist you'd like to see put out an album in 2024. Well, I'd love for the great Jimmy Dale Gilmore to put out a new album. I'm really looking forward. Love to hear that. Big fan of Jimmy Dale Gilmore. Got a couple of his albums. I just chose this one at random. And this is his album Fair and Square on High Tone Records. Great. Yeah, High Tone Records. If you don't know Jimmy Dale Gilmore, I don't know where you've been living. But yeah, what rock you've been hiding under. But Jimmy Dale Gilmore is the man. I'd love to see a new album by him this year. That's number 7. Show your favorite Americana album from 2023. Well, this is not from 2023. I bought it in 2023, but it's actually from 2021. Yeah, 2021. And it is the great Bela Fleck. And this is his album, My Bluegrass Heart. What an amazing record. There he is. And this album has a star-studded cast with him. Besides him, they have Sam Bush, David Grisman, Billy Strings, Molly Tuttle, Jerry Douglas, etc., etc. Tony Trischka. Great album, double album. My Bluegrass Heart, Bela Fleck. I always grab anything I can find by Bela Fleck on vinyl. So great. All right. Bela Fleck. Hold on one second. I think on here we go. Show your favorite Americana album. Show your favorite acoustic Beatles tune. Well, everybody's been doing this, and I will jump right on board. And you got to show Rubber Soul, and my favorite of this is Michelle. Really takes me back. This was the first album I really liked by the Beatles when I was a kid. I'm old enough. I remember when they landed at JFK. I was out in Long Island when that happened. And I saw them from the beginning. And I was always like, you know, they're a rock band. They're not bad. I wasn't that enamored of them in the beginning. I was more a Kinks and Animals and Medford Man fan at the beginning. But when this album came out, then I said, you know, they're a little more than just yeah, and I Want to Hold Your Hand. This album really turned me around, and I started enjoying the earlier stuff too. But yeah, this is one of my favorite albums of all time, and Michelle is the song. That's my Beatles acoustic album song. Show an album with a heartbreaking ballad. Well, again, one of the founders of that whole Americana thing, and it's the band and the song Long Black Veil. This is from their album Music from Big Pink. Everybody knows this album. This is the album when it came out, and Eric Clapton was still in Cream, and he heard this album, and he said, I felt like the music I was making was like dinosaur music. It was like old-fashioned. This was so fresh and new compared to what we were doing. So yeah, Music from Big Pink, The Long Black Veil, great song. Of course, when I first heard it from the band, I thought they had written it. Of course, it's a very old song. Show a song about drinking. Here's another artist many people may not know, or maybe they do, and it's Roy Bookbinder, a great folk Americana singer. And on this album, his first song is Let's Get Drunk Again. So Roy is a singer-songwriter. He does a lot of, I saw him a number of years ago here in Maine, and he's a real storyteller. It's on Blue Goose Records, great label. There's Blue Goose. Yeah, he gets up on stage, tells a lot of stories, and a great singer. And really, I have a number of his albums. I love his stuff. Roy Bookbinder, and the song Let's Get Drunk Again. Show an illustrated Americana album cover. All right, this one I picked up at Goodwill last year, and I was like gobsmacked, as they say in Britain, that this was actually sitting in Goodwill in the condition it was in. And it's the great Ricky Skaggs and Tony Rice. Just called Skaggs and Rice. There's the illustrated cover on Sugar Hill Records. What a fantastic album. You know, it's what they call now called newgrass, not bluegrass. But I think it's definitely part of Americana music. And if you find this, you got to grab it. Fantastic album. Ricky Skaggs, Tony Rice. Show an acoustic album by a traditionally non-acoustic artist. I drew a blank. I couldn't come up with anything. How about an American supergroup? Well, my favorite and band I've seen, one time we saw them, they played here in Portland, got about 15 years ago, maybe, something like that. And it's the Flatlanders. Again, Jimmy Dale Gilmore, Joe Ely, and Butch Hancock. This is their album, The Odessa Tapes. So this is before they really became sort of big in their own right. Early stuff recorded in the 70s. Fantastic. Love the Flatlanders. The Odessa Tapes. So yeah, a real supergroup. An American artist you never got to see live. Well, I didn't see a bunch of them, but the one I really would love to have seen would have been Guy Clark. Another amazing singer-songwriter. This is his album, Texas Cookin', which is just a fantastic album. These all are great, but this one just blows me away. Jerry Jeff Walker appears on here with him. Waylon Jennings appears on him with Tracy Nelson, Johnny Gimbel. Fantastic. Guy Clark. An American artist you'd like to see live that you haven't seen yet. Well, I'd love to see this band. I don't think they're together anymore. Matter of fact, I'm almost positive they're not. But if they ever got together again for a reunion, I would love to see BR549. I know they played a lot in Texas, Austin, all that stuff. Don't think they ever made it up to the Northeast, but would love to have seen them. BR549. This is their album, Western World, home of BR549, Robert's Western World. It's a 7-song EP, so it's fairly short, but fantastic. Yeah, BR549, which I heard was the phone number of the original Grand Ole Opry, BR549. American artists you've seen the most. I haven't seen a lot, but I have seen the great Carolina Chocolate Drops a couple of times, and when they were as a band, Renana Giddens and company. Fantastic. Just they were amazing band. You know, bluegrass type music, banjo music. Highly recommended. The Carolina Chocolate Drops. Favorite Americana duet. Well, I got to go with the great Everly Brothers. And this is actually a repress. I think the album was called Songs Our Father Taught Us, recorded in 1958. And this is a repress called Folk Songs by the Everly Brothers. I mean, everybody wanted to sound like the Everly Brothers. The Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, Crosby, Stills and Nash. Everybody wished they had the harmonies that these two guys had at the time. And this is a fantastic album. I'm trying to see what the original, it doesn't say here, but I know it was originally put out under a different name, and I'm pretty sure the name was Songs Our Father Taught Us. And this is the repress called Folk Songs. They're trying to cash in on that folk song craze, I guess, at the time. But they do, you know, songs, most of these are traditional songs. Barbara Allen, Lightning Express, That Silver-Haired Daddy of Mine, Rockin' Alone in the Old Rockin' Chair. Just great stuff. Harmonies to kill, to die for. The Everly Brothers. Name 5 lesser-known Americana artists. Okay. How about Bob Brosman? Fantastic musician. What a great album this was. He played with R. Crumb and his Cheap Suit Serenaders. Great album. Great musician. Unfortunately, had a very sad ending. He committed suicide after being accused of child molestation. So, very sad ending. But what a great musician. And this is a fantastic album. Bob Brosman. How about Stephen Grossman? This is his album, Acoustic Guitar. Blues, rags, fiddle tunes, and contemporary. Stephen Grossman, I have a number of his albums. He started the label Kicking Mule Records. And so whenever I see an album from Kicking Mule, I always grab it because I know it's going to be a guitar virtuoso. And he is a guitar virtuoso. He's joined here by John Renborn. He has a couple albums with John Renborn. This is a Japanese pressing, but it's fantastic. Stephen Grossman. How about the Hillman? Another project with Chris Hillman, but with the Gosden brothers, Rex and Vern Gosden, sing on here with him. So on Sugar Hill Records again, another great album. the Hillman. I don't think they've made any albums except for this one. And here's another one I found. This is the Crichton Hollow String Band. More country bluegrass music, but definitely Americana music on Flying Fish Records. This is another great one. The Crichton Hollow String Band. And last, but certainly not least, Dreadful Snakes. This one I knew nothing about when I was digging with my buddy Brian from Shamrock and Records. He saw it and grabbed it and said, you got to buy this album. So I did. And this is with Roland White, who was with the Byrds, and also was from Maine, along with Bella Fleck and Jerry Douglas. So that's quite a lineup, and another fantastic album, The Dreadful Snakes. So that's 5 that maybe you heard of, maybe not. Show the first Americana album you owned. All right, way back when, 1962. I was 13 years old, and my sister was dating this guy who she ended up marrying, and now is married to him for 60 years. Came over to the house one day when I was a kid and brought this album, not this exact album, but a copy of this album, and I listened to it for the first time, and I was like, that's for me. That's my kind of music. The hell with that rock and roll stuff. This is what I like. And this was the New Lost City Ramblers. New Lost City Ramblers were Mike Seeger, John Cohn, and Tom Paley. 3 New York City boys who got enamored of old-timey music, traveled to the hills of Kentucky and Tennessee, and dug out this. They formed in 1958. So they went to Kentucky and Tennessee in that era and found the original players of a lot of the music, got inspired by them, and came back to New York and formed this great band. Mike Seeger is Pete Seeger's half-brother. All fantastic musicians. Really just one of my favorite stuff. I have a number of their albums. But yeah, the New Lost City Ramblers. And last question is, challenge one channel to hop on board. So I'm challenging Tony P. from Two from the Trunk. I think this would be right up his alley. Love to see his take on Americana music. Tony, I'm watching you. I'm waiting to see the video. So get on it, man. Okay, hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, peace.